Okay, so it's Cat Stanley Space Demon coming at you again. Today I want to talk about the time Ace Frehley crashed Aerosmith's record label signing party. So let's go back long before Aerosmith were ever the top 40 pop hit making machine that they'd become in the late 80s throughout the 90s. They were the Bad Boys from Boston. A dirty blues-based hard rock and roll band, led by guitarist Joe Perry and vocalist Steven Tyler, collectively known as the Toxic Twins for their decadent lifestyle. Now, in the early days of the band, when they were trying to land a record deal, they played a showcase at the famed Max's Kansas City in New York City. A performance that they would commemorate in the 1979 Aerosmith song, No Surprise, off of their Night in the Ruts album. Now that night, the band was staying just up the street from the venue on 8th Avenue at the Ramada Inn. They were feeling great about that point in their life where the band was headed. They felt like everything was going in the right direction. Big things were about to happen. So the band threw themselves a big party. It was a huge rager to celebrate all the good things that lay ahead. Now there was a female acquaintance of the band who had brought along a gangly young man that she knew. Aerosmith bassist Tom Hamilton described the dude as having a high, crackly voice and an easy laugh. Hamilton said that every time the guy would make a joke or a wisecrack, his voice would go up into a high register. But as for the party, it really got going but good, with all attendances getting really wasted, and towards the end of the night, it seems that aforementioned gangly young gentleman with the high voice had wandered into Hamilton's room and passed out onto his bed. In fact, Hamilton had to have Aerosmith's road crew come in and haul his gangly ass out so Hamilton could get some sleep. But let's hop ahead now. We'll hop into the DeLorean, move ahead a year or two later. Aerosmith are headlining a show in Owings Mills, Maryland, with some young band called Kiss as their opening act. Now, they'd heard about this band named Kiss. In fact, they thought that the band name was pretty silly. But during sound check the afternoon of the show, the four members of the opening band strolled into the theater, walked up to the guys in Aerosmith, and introduced themselves. Now, there was one particular band member who looked awfully familiar to Hamilton. He was like, holy shit! Turns out that the lead guitar player was the same gangly guy with the squeaky voice who had passed out in his bed at the Ramada Inn a year or two earlier. The dude was none other than Kiss lead guitarist Ace Frehley. Now, it sounds like Ace really got around back in the day. You may have heard the story Ace told about how he had helped set up Jimi Hendrix's drum kit a few years earlier, a show Hendrix had done in New York City. And then a few years down the road, Ace ends up crashing Aerosmith's signing party and ends up passing out in Tom Hamilton's bed. Hell, he probably would have taken Hamilton's woman too if he'd have had one. I don't know, maybe he did. Maybe Hamilton just didn't want to admit to getting cucked by that gangly guy from Kiss. But it's a funny story, pretty hilarious. Ace Frehley probably doesn't have any recollection of that night, knowing Ace, the night he crashed Aerosmith's record signing party before the band Kiss had even started. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hope you dug this video, and we'll see you next time.
Who's here?